awesome game. So yeah, those are most of my zombie memories are in games. Left 4 Dead, another great zombie.
Who wants to go next?
Go
ahead,
I'll go.
Yeah, go.
I would say my favorite zombie game would be The Last of Us.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even consider.
Don't give it
That's a
away.
great-
I just bought it.
You just bought it?
I just
Oh,
bought it.
awesome.
I bought a PS4 on Prime Day. It came with it.
Sweet.
You-
You need to play it. You're gonna
Yeah.
love it.
You
Okay.
got probably.
You're gonna probably shit yourself, but you're gonna
I'll
love it.
definitely shit myself, but I'm
Okay.
excited.
But you picked a good game. You
Yeah.
picked a great game to pick for, when you're going back to it.
Hey, can you give me that one though? Give me the saison. Let's not act like we're not drinking beer. Can you? Just,
Yeah.
I'll try the saison. Yeah.
This is actually from actual brewery.
Shout out
Brewery?
to actual
Well,
brewery.
that's interesting you bring it up because, like, honestly, like, the word zombie is so, like, ambiguous.
Yeah.
Because, like, in that game, they're not, like, flesh-eating monsters, but they're still zombie-esque.
Yeah.
And so I would still throw them in that genre, and it is such a fantastic game and a story. I see why you like it so much.
No, and I love that game. And I would also say, even though this movie didn't really get a great review, it's still a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. I like World War Z
Oh yeah.
with Brad Pitt. They're actually making a sequel to that movie.
The
Oh,
book
really?
was really good too.
Yeah.
If you ever got the chance to read the book.
No,
That was pretty solid.
but I like their version of zombies were really quick, like Dawn of the Dead.
They were terrifying.
Yeah, they were insanely
Like
terrifying.
when you watch them, because I've seen that, and I was like, man, that is absolutely. You can see in that situation, like when you see those slow moving zombies from like
Walking Dead and stuff.
from Walking Dead or like Night of the Living Dead, you're like, really, the world's apocalyptic right now because of that. But when you watch World War Z, you're like, I get it.
Oh,
I totally.
And
get
another
it.
movie, I Am Legend, man. That's one of my favorite
Oh,
movies.
that's a good one.
yeah, that's a
Another-
really. You've seen that one?
I've seen I Am Legend.
What?
All right, buddy. Seen
Wow.
that movie. All right.
That was
Wow.
that what you were gonna pick?
No, because I forgot I saw it.
That was what an HIV vaccine.
It was
that
like
caused
a
it?
yeah,
It
some
was an
or
HIV
something went
vaccine.
wrong.
They're like vampires. They couldn't go out in the sun or something like that. Which they can only walk
And
out in the
again,
light.
not necessarily like the traditional zombies, but something I would consider
Yeah.
a zombie movie.
And they're still like incredibly smart. But like
Yeah.
the World War Z, the most terrifying point in World War Z is when they all start stacking on top of each other and climbing over top of the wall, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then they're insane.
And it's not them being smart. That's just like more of like they kind of like ants.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? They're like all crawling, and they're gonna go up. And if there's a body in front, they're gonna go. It's just really cool.
There's nothing quite as terrifying as like a zombie that has the ability to run.
Yeah.
Like the running zombies from
They'll run forever.
30 Days Later, I think,
Yeah.
right? Like the ones that can sprint, it's just like, oh my god, that's crazy. Also, think about what good of shape they're in. If you're just always running and you don't even realize it,
Barely
they're
eating
probably
anything.
just jacked.
There
yeah.
was
Yeah.
this in 30 Weeks Later. There's that scene where he's running on to a boat, and you just see these people in the hills just run. These zombies from the hill running after him, and it's like, while it's not scary in the sense of somebody's popping out at you or like a monster, but like there's these people that are chasing you, and they're never going to slow down. I mean, that's the nature of a zombie, and you're just like, if you imagine yourself in that position, you are going to be fucked. You know what I mean? It's just like absolutely terrifying. I remember watching the expression on that guy's face from 30 weeks later, and I was just like, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Is that the one where they're trapped in a building?
Yeah.
30
Like
weeks
quarantine-
later,
like quarantine in a building?
it's England is quarantined by the American government, and they're rebuilding. And then, of course, they let one zombie in, and it's like a rage virus. They're not eating people, but if they touch you, you're basically a zombie. And stuff.
Okay.
I really like 38 Weeks Later. Buddy, what's your favorite?
I'd say I Am Legend, but since we already talked about that one, I think I've only seen 3 other zombie movies I can think of. I'll go with probably Zombie Land. Have you guys seen that
Oh,
one?
yeah, that's a
yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
Funny one too.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson and Twinkies and
The
stuff.
best. What is the guy that does a
Bill
cameo?
Maher, not Bill Maher, not Bill,
Bill
Maher.
Murray?
Bill Murray, there
Bill
you go.
Murray, yeah.
One of the greatest deaths of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a fantastic.
Do you have any regrets? No. Maybe Garfield.
That's a great movie.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that one's really good. Like, that one does a good job of, like, showing somebody who's been living in the world for a really long time, who's already adapted. Like,
Yeah.
I think, like, in the same way that you run into, like, origin stories, right, with superheroes, zombie movies have, like, the tendency to start at the outbreak and show how the world reacts to the slow, crawl of the zombies taking over the world. Whereas, like, Zombieland is like, all right, this is what it is.
This is
and
life.
This is life, and this is how it takes place. Kind of like that.
I think I think that was like Eisenberg. Jesse
Eisenberg.
Jesse
Yeah.
Eisenberg. Like, I think that was like his big hit. that
Shout
got
out
him,
to Columbus,
you know?
Ohio, too. His name was Columbus, right?
Yeah, he was from Columbus, and that's where he was trying to go, and then of course it was already been destroyed. But yeah, he I think that was like really his first big giant role that kind of just he did fantastic. Good pick. Do you have another one?
One of the other ones I can think of is, have you guys seen Warm Bodies? It wasn't a particularly great movie, but I think it was about like the zombie guy that saved this normal girl, and they kind of like live together and fight off the zombies. I don't totally remember. That's all I remember.
I've seen it.
I mean, I've seen a lot of zombie movies.
It wasn't a chick flick. It was kind of a, I wouldn't call it a romantic comedy either. It was a comedy, but like just a different concept, I thought.
What about quick special mentions across media? The Flood in Halo, I think, you know, is a solid take on the zombies. You can take
a look at it,
Yeah. Call of Duty zombies, for God's sake. Like, that's such a... I'm really surprised at this point that they haven't come out with, like, a standalone Call of Duty zombies. Yeah, like, at this point that they're still just, like, piggybacking off of whatever the major release is for that year. Like, I think it's probably time they could just release a zombie version of Call of Duty. I think that has to be in the works, right? Like, a zombie only, like, with a campaign.
If this fails, then yeah, probably.
Have you guys seen the movie Fido? Which is a zombie movie where, like, it's like, so the zombie apocalypse has happened, but they've recovered.
Yes!
And now zombies are pets, kind of.
Yeah.
What?
And so they have a pet zombie, and of course they, like, kind of take him for walks and stuff. And it's very interesting. It's a comedy, but also kind of satirical, but I don't really remember too much. I just remember it was, like, kind of satirical.
Yeah, we watched that in high school.
Yeah, and, like, I remember he gets off the leash, so he has to fight his urges to eat people, but he loves his family, but he like observes, and it's from his point of view, but he doesn't talk. He's not smart, and he's a brains. Yeah. I mean, it's literally that type of zombie.
A George A. Romero zombie.
Yeah, it's literally like that.
Yeah.
And of course they got a collar around him, and he's a leash and stuff like that. It's a fancy white suburban family kind of thing that owns him.
And honestly, like, another thing that comes to my mind when I think about zombies is Michael Jackson and Thriller. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, like, if I think about, like, being a kid and, like, I was literally scared of that music video, Thriller, when I saw that for the first time. I was like, this is really terrifying. So I would say, like, shout out to that. You're looking at me like I'm crazy, buddy.
I guess I never saw it when I was little, so I don't have a point of comparison.
It was so scary. Like, that was so, like, the whole music video that actually had that narrator and told the story and stuff. Like, Michael Jackson was really famous for coming out with, like, movies and not just, like,
music videos.
Well, that song's 4 minutes long, but the music video is like 9 minutes.
Right.
He takes a girl on a date,
It's a short
and
film.
he walks her home because she's scared, and then he has this whole scene, and it ends up not being real. But it's a cool video. It's really cool. So moving on, I do want just to kind of talk about this really quick.
This is topic 1B.
1B. We don't have to have a whole discussion on it, but I just want to kind of explain. Oh, that's my phone, like, battery dying. So let me go ahead and read it. So this is from an article, crack.com.
Crack.
This is one of the only articles there. Scientists in China have successfully teleported an object from Earth to a satellite 500 kilometers ahead, smashing the previous distance record from teleportation from 100 meters. The quantum uses quantum entangled. The object was a quantum entangled proton. And so let me just explain to you what teleportation kind of means.
Cool, because I've
nowadays.
had 2 beers and, like, a glass of wine, so you're going to have to break this one down.
All right, so people think teleportation is like what they think in the movies where, like, I dissolve and I appear somewhere else. Really what the teleportation is, it's like, imagine Brogan is in New York and he's in a room cut off from the world. Like, you can't see anything. And then I'm in Los Angeles and I'm also in a room and I'm not connected to anything. It's just an empty room. And I start doing the Macarena. Right? And then I teleport that information to Brogan, so now he starts doing the Macarena. So these are protons that are vibrating at a certain speed or acting some way, and they cause the other protons who are not anywhere near it or anywhere close to it to act the same way.
So you'd be able to feel that?
What'd you say?
So Brogan would be able to feel you doing the Macarena? Around
Yeah, so like whatever, they teleport the information of me doing the Macarena to Brogan. And what that means, you're like,
crazy.
well, I don't get that. Yeah. Really, you're thinking like, well, what? I don't get it. Like, I'm not teleporting to another location. That's not the point. But think about, like, data and how computers might run nowadays. You wouldn't need an Ethernet cable. Everything would be instant. You want something, you click on a website, your computer would be teleported, or the processor would teleport the information to it so it acts a certain way, and it's instantly there. No Ethernet cable, nothing plugged in other than at power. and everything instantly works. I mean, that's the ultimate goal behind this.
Ready Player One.
And we are already doing this with Proton, so that was like the new world record of them teleporting information to space.
So is the end goal then too that you could get protons, molecules, etc. to arrange themselves a certain way such that you
Correct.
do have another Brogan doing the Macarena,
No. So you are thinking like recreating
Yeah.
that person over there. No,
Yeah.
this is just like I'm having two molecules, one doing one thing, and then I teleport the information
Yeah.
to this one. So now it acts the same as this one. So if you have a server where there's internet and you like, hey, I want to go to this website over here, I'm going to teleport the information to here, and it's instant and without connection. There's no wires or Wi-Fi involved.
Yeah.
It is just immediate, and it's based off of quantum entanglement theory, and it does work. You're asking me to explain it. I can't explain that.
Well, hold on.
That's
So
interesting.
I guess my question is: so are you saying that if I'm in a room, okay, in Switzerland doing the Macarena, and we're connected via this system, and
Yeah.
you are in California in a room, so what exactly comes to you? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit
The information.
So if, let's say, then with that, like if there was a animatronic version of me, like in that room with you, whatever I do, that thing could be a surrogate for me if it received and processed that information such that it would then start to, like, if I raise my right arm, it would raise its right arm.
They would teleport
Almost
that information.
Almost telepathically.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's connecting to me to do that? Oh, that
Physics.
was the thing. That
That's
was the
physics.
thing that we don't know, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
all
the
right, yeah.
physics
got you.
I don't
Okay,
understand.
that's cool.
It's quantum entanglement theory. If you ask my brother, he could tell you a little bit more about
Oh,
it.
we should get Tyler.
You want me? To,
Yeah, call
you guys
him.
do your thing. You want me to give him a call?
Yeah, just call him real quick, just while you're doing that. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of stuff
phone
like
died, though?
blows my mind. Do you want to
So-
call my phone?
I want to use your phone. My phone's
I don't
about to
have
die.
mine.
So
Or
here's my
anybody
thought
else's.
along with that while you're calling him then. So if you can tell, I don't know,
call him.
whatever, the surrogate to raise its arm or whatever, could you tell, let's pretend you just have molecules, could you tell this molecule to bond to another molecule and therefore do it, way far away in this separate space, and therefore if you tell the molecules to form together and make something, could you also make it over there too? So it'd really be like real teleportation instead of just copying a...
Here, let me get.
Hold on.
Did you get him?
All right. Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
All right. You're on speakerphone on Brogan and Mine's podcast, okay?
What's up, Tyler?
Can you hear us?
Hey, what's up? Yeah.
All right. So I just told them about an article I read where China successfully beat the previous record of 100 kilometers, and they teleported a proton 500 kilometers into space into a satellite in space. Were you aware of this?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I told you.
I knew he would.
Okay.
Tyler.
All right, Tyler. So, based off, correct me if I'm wrong, but can you dumb this down as best? Obviously, I know that you're not a physicist, but quantum entanglement theory, is that what it uses, and how is that? Can you?
What is the layman's terms?
Yeah, can you explain this to us at all?
Okay. So, short answer is no, I cannot. But half of the reason I cannot is because I am currently watching Rogue One and playing a game of Dota, so discussing quantum entanglement at the same time is
Be impressive.
hard.
I mean, but we're not. I'm right with that theory, right? That's what it uses.
Yeah, basically. So when they say that they've teleported an electron or photon or whatever from one place or another, the truth of the matter is they haven't, like, matter hasn't moved from one place to another. What they mean is they've taken the essential information that makes one proton or photon or whatever, and transmitted it in a way, via quantum entanglement or whatever, and basically, created or transformed or mapped or whatever that information onto, the equivalent particle somewhere else.
Oh, so Tyler, I got a question. So if I'm following you, the idea is, okay, you've mapped this molecule to another molecule in a different space. You haven't actually transported that, obviously. We're not in Star Trek quite
yeah,
yet.
but I mean, but it's the Star Trek idea of teleportation, in the sense that all of the information that is important and that makes that molecule is basically